I'm going to make myself some porridge for breakfast, and I'll keep my porridge in a tub here. And this is the measure that I use. It's a small measure. I put 1 heaped tub full of porridge in this, and then I put 3 the same size liquid. And what I do is as much as I can on that. That's it. And then I do half water, half milk and half water for my porridge. So I'll do a whole half and fill the rest with water. That's 3. Give it a bit of a stir round. And I give a couple of shakes of salt into this. Now I'm going to do this in the microwave, and it'll take 3.5 minutes, so it's pretty quick. And I've microwaved it for 2 minutes. I've taken it out to give it a stir, and I'm going to put it in for another 1.5 minutes. That's another 1.5 minutes. And that's ready. Put into the dish. You have to use a good sized dish because it does come up the sides when you microwave it. There, that's a 3.5 minute porridge. And now I'm going to, this is golden syrup, but it's not actually the same one as what's in this tub, because this is what I buy the Lyle's golden syrup, and this was the last one I bought, a squeezy one, and I have a funnel here, and I put that inside here and pour the Lyle's golden syrup into this, because it's a much better syrup, the one that comes in the tin, because it's thicker. The ones I've bought in the squeezy bottles tend to be thinner. They're not quite as good as that one, and it works out quite a bit cheaper actually. So I have some syrup on. I like a lot of syrup on. To have a sweet tooth. And there, and put some milk on. It's all ready to eat. And this is a meal. Every time I make this, I think about one day when I was in Asda. I was standing in the checkout queue, and there was a couple of ladies in front of me discussing. One of them had a grandson had stayed the night before, and she said to her friend, "I made him porridge this morning for his breakfast. He says, I make mine with all milk, but she makes hers with water. And I got from the tone of her voice that she was her daughter-in-law. And I was quite amused at this, and I wasn't really eavesdropping, just so it was the close proximity. I couldn't help but hear what they were talking about. So I leant over and I whispered to her and I says, I make mine with half milk and half water. And she looked at me, and then I also said to her, and my mother always said to me, she is the cat's mother. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get some dirty looks here. But she turned around, she started laughing, and she said to me, well, that's a scene I've never heard for a long time. So at least I thought it was funny what I said to her. I always remember that every time I make myself some porridge. Now I'm going to sit down and eat this before it gets cold. And if you like this, please give a like and subscribe.